Hi friends, it's Joanne from Aberdeen Home Care, and I want to talk today about masks. Masks of all kinds. We've got them in every shape and size and color, and I just want to go over what the masks are, how they protect you, how they work, how they function, a little bit of biology about the virus and about how it's emitting out of our respiratory tract, and what I think is reasonable and prudent for you to use when you're in public. I will be imploring you throughout this video to continue to wear a mask in all public places, which means having one in your pocket when you take a walk, just in case, and having one when you go into any establishment, whether it's to pick up food or groceries or at the pharmacy or at the gas station, okay? The first mask that I have to show you is the N95. I'll put it up close. This is the 3M version of the N95 mask. The only mask that's better than this that's commercially available is the N95 respirator mask, which has a small plastic disc in the front, which is built with very sophisticated filtration, allowing breath to go in and out so air is able to enter the mask. These are ideal for people that are wearing masks 8, 10, 12 hours a day, or God forbid more, because it's not confining the breath to the inside of the mask. It's allowing, through a filtration system, for the air to exit. You don't need those unless you are taking care of actively ill COVID-19 patients. And please, if you are tempted to get one, try to relinquish that desire and stick with a regular N95. So this is the N95 mask. It's form-fitted. It has a metal piece on the top. It has a little cushion inside for your nose. It has 2 elastic straps that are going to go around your head, so that gives you a really nice tight fit. Usually people take the bottom one and they crisscross it up to make a really nice fit, especially around your chin. So I'm going to put the mask on. I'll tell you that feels very snug and very tight. And even in talking just a little bit, I can feel the moisture and the heat building up inside this mask. As I breathe in, even with the mask pushed tight to my face, the mask does not cave in. It doesn't become concave. So I feel very well protected in this mask. And this is an excellent mask for you to use if you are in direct contact with people. The next mask that I have is the Chinese version of the N95. Only I say Chinese because that's where it was available when I purchased these, I have to say proactively, for my staff in the very beginning of March, in the first 3 or 4 days that we bought these masks. So this is imprinted, as they should all be identified, and this is the K95 mask. This does not go behind your head, it goes behind your ears, and it is conical in shape, which is actually great because it comes off your face a little bit. It's not laying straight up against your nose and mouth, which is a burden to have that, for any length of time other than a quick trip to the grocery store. I'm thinking of people that are still at work and still out in the direct line of the public. So I'm going to put this mask on. This has a very nice fit. It fits again below the chin, under here. It fits a good part of my face. It does not have a molded nose piece. So when I'm breathing, I can still feel a lot of breath going up underneath my glasses. If I didn't wear glasses, I probably wouldn't feel it as much, but I do. Even when I'm speaking a lot to you, I'm getting a little bit of fog that's coming up. So that's telling me that there's some breath of mine that's escaping. But it's not going this way. It's not going out at a direct angle toward the public or to my neighbor. So I feel very safe having this mask. If this mask should break, if the elastic piece, one of mine actually did, we have a plethora of cloth masks for our staff at Aberdeen, made by a generous friend, Gail Burns, in Rowley, and she has supplied us with these masks, which actually the KN95 fits nicely inside. So if I'm wearing this mask, I really have a lot of protection. I can still breathe pretty well because that's the intent, of course, with a mask. It has to be able to transact air in and out. But the cotton mask is a nice supplement to this should this become damaged. We're going to talk about mask cleanliness too before the end of this segment. This is a molded surgical mask. You might have seen these a lot on television. You see these when you go to either the dentist or have a procedure or are in the hospital. This is a compressed paper mask. It has a nose piece that fits, and it has one elastic that goes behind the head. Obviously, a much less expensive mask than this very thick one that has the 2 elastics and just feels an awful lot sturdier. So this is in my opinion, sort of a flimsy mask. It's not really for healthcare workers workers right now. People will take what they can get, but this is an okay mask for you to go to the grocery store in or transact your business in. It is much smaller on the face. It does go under the chin. It does have a little bit of a nose piece. I can breathe very easily through this. When I breathe in and out, it's not collapsing, so that tells me, it really has some form to it, and good to wear for people not in the medical world, unless that's all they have. The last commercially available mask, which is been seen, they used to make these in cotton back in the day. They were made out of the same material as scrubs were, and they were laundered and they were reused. And then we decided we were going to do disposable, so here we have these paper masks. This does have a top and a bottom, and on the top it has a little piece of plastic or metal inside. So this makes a nice, it's a nice generous mask. It really fits, way under my chin, and it fits, almost all the way over to my ears. When I breathe in, I can feel the air coming in, and I can feel the air going out. The particulate filter of this mask is far, far inferior to something like the KN95 or the N95. You could tell just by the ability for me to inhale and bring that mask closer with a vacuum to my face. This goes behind the ears. I have seen a lot of people using creative ways to avoid behind the ear attachment of masks. The little crocheted things with a button on each end, or a piece of elastic with a button on each end. Even barrel full of monkeys. Remember that game? I have one. I meant to get a monkey out to show you how that works. But with the monkey hands, you attach it to the back of your head rather than behind your ears. And if you're wearing this mask for a prolonged period of time, that certainly makes good sense. So these are the masks. And the cotton mask. You may have a cotton mask and that's all, or you may have a cotton mask and a paper mask underneath it. Any amount of layers of filtration that you can develop are a good thing. Some of these masks were made with envelopes, with a slider that you could put something in on the back side, whether that was a piece of paper toweling that was folded up a couple of times, a sock, piece of a t-shirt, a mask, a coffee filter. I've seen a wide variety of things used as an additional layer of filtration. That's a great idea if you have that option. I'll put the cotton mask on alone. Do you see the mask moving? That means that this is going to be a little bit limited in its particulate ability to filter. This is going to keep the vast amount of moisture from going through, the air's going through, and the hope is that this double layer of cotton is going to catch the particles and is going to provide some protection for me and for my neighbor. If a cotton mask is what you have for your walks and your trips to the grocery store and the pharmacy, I think you are absolutely wise to use it all the time, and I think that it will give you a great deal of protection. Anything is going to give you a great deal of protection other than this and this, which is where there is no filtration. There's actually a little bit of filtration in your nose because of all the nose hairs you have, and that's the purpose of it, is to collect dust and it's a particulate shield, and that's nature's way of trying to protect what goes into your body, but unfortunately not effective against COVID-19 and the common cold and other things. So these are the masks that I wanted to show you today. I have 5 examples. I have the N95, the KN95, the molded paper surgical mask, the flat paper procedure mask, and of course the cotton mask. I've seen many things online and have talked to many people who have made masks out of socks and t-shirts, a wide variety of ways that you can make a mask. Anything that is going to protect you from the particulate matter that is out there is of value, and I implore you to use a mask. It is extremely necessary, and it really protects you and your neighbor. I'm going to do a second video, so this one isn't too terribly long, on glove use. That's very controversial right now, being discussed as being helpful and problematic at the same time, and I believe those two things coexist. So stay tuned for our next clip, which is going to be gloves, their role, how they help you, how they potentially are harming you, and we'll get into all of that. I hope this mask information has been helpful and useful to you. Please put something on your face when you go, your mouth and nose when you go out in public. It is still incredibly important to do so. Today is February 20th. Massachusetts is hitting its surge. That does not mean it's going away. This started back in March. So if our exit out of the virus is the same, it's still going to be present, 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 present. And there's a great deal of research going into pre-symptomatic and asymptomatic people and how they have absolutely no idea they have the virus until they are flat out on their way to the emergency room, unable to breathe. So it remains incredibly important for you to feel empowered, to practice excellent hygiene, excellent self-care, and protect yourself and your neighbor from this invisible enemy that who is a formidable foe, who we are all up against right now. Please take good care and tune in again, because I'm going to be going over gloves in all of their splendor in just a minute. Okay, take good care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.